12 years ago, I began using the internet to recruit, which resulted in over 1,400 people in my personal downline without using any traditional or outdated methods. Now I've decided to burn it all down and start over in a different business. Follow me as I document what it takes to auto-recruit my next 1,000 people into my own downline from scratch. I'm Steve J. Larson, and welcome to Season 2 of Secret MLM Hacks Radio. What's up? Hope you like the new intro. I'm super excited about it. I don't know what it is. In the last 4 months, I was like, all right, let's go back to. I don't know why, okay, but really in the last couple months, I have had. We've always had a lot of people reach out about Secret MLM Hacks, to my support. They'll write in, asking about it, and I, that's normal, but for some reason in the last 2 or 3 months, it's been a lot of people, a bunch. And if you've not heard the episode that I basically was like, Secret MLM Hacks is back, it's because of you guys. And so I want to say thank you so much. And even kicking this podcast back up, it's so funny. I got another podcast that I do. I got a YouTube channel, but I also have and sometimes we take videos from that YouTube channel, we'll put it on a podcast, and I'll sometimes do the same here, but I do like to create just the audio only, this is audio only. Anyway, I've been getting a lot of questions about Secret MLM Hack stuff, and my other show, it's so funny how many podcasts downloads it gets, but then every time I make a podcast episode here, y'all are rampant. I mean, it's so fun. I just want to say thank you. So many downloads every week. It's crazy. It's crazy. It outpaces literally every other podcast and every show that I ever have had. And it's one of the reasons also I was like, there's people still want help here. So anyway, all right, let me get back to it though. So, hey, I'm going to dive into just really fast. One of the, I get asked, and it's also one of the biggest questions that's asked on the internet because I was looking it up, meaning in terms of network marketing. One of the biggest questions is, how do you start in network marketing, right? And if you've listened to my stuff, I got a lot of stuff. I definitely will have a book coming out about my methods here in network marketing soon. My guess is it'll come out sometime next year, but I got a book that I'll be putting out. The podcast is back up also, so I can be documenting, just like the new intro says, documenting my journey towards recruiting my next 1,000 people. And I'm doing it because, people need help. And sometimes I look at myself like a business guinea pig, and so I'm like, let me document the ups and downs and just follow me as I go do it. So anyway, so how do you start in network marketing? If I was to go back to myself 12 years ago and using what I know now, what would I tell myself? Right? Because I definitely would not start off the way I started off. And that's true of all progression and growth and gaining education and insights and wisdom and such. I'm sure all of us would actually say that to ourselves. We may not start out the same way, but hey, pat ourselves on the back. We started, right? That's the point, is just to start. And so how would I start? What would I actually do? Now, when I first began in network marketing, I did what most likely almost everyone on this podcast and listening to this podcast did, which was that I went out and I did make a list of friends and family, and I went and I pitched, and I did 3-way phone calls with my upline, and it was great. And I'm not bashing him at all. I'm so grateful for the belief that he shared in me. I probably wouldn't be doing this today without that amazing man. And so I'm not here to bash, right? I'm not bashing on old school methods. I am a little bit, but I did the traditional routes. I did lose a few friends. It soured relationships with some family members, and I in particular, there's two past friends that really went nuts on me, and I was like, this sucks. I thought that they were gonna thank me for bringing me, for me bringing them this opportunity, and that's kind of what you taught. It's well, you're gonna go talk to your friends and family if you love them. You know what I mean? It's a little bit manipulative, and it is. a little bit manipulative, and so I felt kind of taken advantage of. My upline was doing probably what you've experienced, which is that, hey, make a list of friends and family, and let's go out and let's see who's actually interested. And is that altogether a bad, is that wrong? No, right? It's someone that I have a list. I have a list of people, and I'm reaching out to them, and I'm trying to go sell. That's what it means to sell. You're going to get rejected. You're never going to get 100% conversion rate. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of it is like suck up buttercup, par for the course, welcome to sales, right? And I believe that network marketing is misnamed. It should not be called network marketing. It should be called network selling, because they don't really teach you how to market. And the case in point in that is that after I talked to my friends and family, and after I made lists, and after I went through, social media profiles and all this kind of stuff, the issue that I ran into was that I didn't know how else to get leads. Right? And you're probably listening to this. My guess is you've run into that exact same thing, where you did the friends and family thing. You did, because you got a model. If you want what successful people have, you got to do what successful people did. And I totally drank the Kool-Aid, and I was all in. And I was like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? That makes total sense to me. So I go out and I do that. But then, after that dumpster fire happened, I didn't have anyone else to talk to. And I think the part where that got me most frustrated was once I kind of kept telling my upline this, like, they kind of moved on. And now they're working with people that I actually did recruit and going through their friends and family. And I didn't feel like I had a way to get more leads. You know what I'm talking about? Like, let me know if you can resonate with what I'm talking about on this, because this was one of the most challenging parts to it, is that it's like they had a plan when someone was brand spanking new, but they didn't have a plan for someone who'd already done the friends and family thing. And now, like, how do you grow? And I wasn't willing to quit. And I know a lot of you guys know the story, so I'll just be fast with it. But I literally started recruiting down Main Street. I mean, I walked down the street cold pitching people that I was walking by. And I ended up recruiting a few businesses. And I ended up recruiting a few people that became, buddies and friends of mine for quite a while. And I'm so grateful for that. And it's awesome, right? I'm not saying that I'm not saying that no one ever has been successful with these old school methods. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it sucks, right? So what would I tell myself if I was starting over from scratch, but I know what I know now? Well, funny enough, as per the new intro of the podcast, I am starting over from scratch. I finally found a company that I want to stick with for 10 years. And I'm like super psyched, and they're psyched, and I've already had the intro calls and meetings, and I'm meeting all the people and blah, 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 right? All that stuff, getting indoctrinated. And I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so pumped to dive on into it. And so now it's really fun because I feel like I get to start over using these lessons. So it's not like a far-fetched scenario. I figure, the new theme of this show is to watch me as I go get 1,000 people in my downline again, right? Which I don't know how long it's going to take. My guess is it's going to be significantly faster than last time. But I'll be open. I'll be open if something doesn't go great, or I'll be something if, I'll be open. I'm going to tell you guys what's going on. And so what would I do? AKA, what am I doing as I start this out? So the first thing I would tell myself if I was starting over from scratch, and really the first thing I'm doing now, is a principle that is easily one of it sounds backwards. Okay, it will feel like you are not going to recruit a lot of people, but it's really funny, man, because I've done this with CEOs of network marketing businesses. I've done this with people who literally, no joke, have like 1 million people in their downline. I've done this with brand new people. Right? It's still the first step, regardless of where you are, and it's gonna feel backwards. Okay. Let me just kind of set it up this way. When I was in college, I went and I was trying to build sales funnels, and I didn't know what I was doing. And so I decided that I would go build funnels for businesses, and I would do it for free. And I would tell them, hey, I'm kind of new at this. This is before I ever worked at ClickFunnels or anything. was Russell Brunson's right-hand guy for years, and I was learning the skill, and nothing that I was really putting out was really working. And I think it's because I was trying to do too many new things. Like, I was trying to come up with an offer. Well, that's an entrepreneurship skill set. And I was trying to learn how to get traffic. Well, that's a marketing skill set. It's totally different than entrepreneurship. Right. And then I was also learning funnels. Well, that's different than the other two altogether. Right. Funnel building is a totally different thing than entrepreneurship and marketing. And I think I was trying to do all of it, too many new skills at once. I was trying to master, and I kind of could sense that. And so I went out and I found this company to go build funnels for free in exchange for just learning. And I found a business, and I remember that I was trying to do the research for the funnel. So I was interviewing this guy, and this guy's actually become kind of famous now. I won't say his name, but he's amazing. It's for a water filter business. And the only reason I say that is because this last Funnel Hacking Live that I was talking to this doctor out in the hall, and then he brought up this guy, and I was like, how's he doing? He's like, oh yeah, that guy's really blown up. It's like, that's crazy, man. It's been like 11 years since it's crazy. It just blew my mind. So, in fact, it was 11 years. 11 years ago that this happened, and I was trying to do all this research for this funnel because I wanted to do a good job, and so I was interviewing the owner of this business. Now, I really want you to lean in with what I'm about to say here, because this is one of the biggest things that people mess up with in network marketing. Hands down, no contest. Like, this is it. Okay? Listen to this. So I asked the guy, the main dude, the CEO of the business, to say, hey, who's your dream customer? And their product was for a water filter, and they had this really cool like affiliate. It was not network marketing, but they had a really awesome like 2-tiered affiliate referral program. And so I asked them, hey, who's your dream customer? And I kid you not, the guy said, well, everybody drinks water, and everyone needs a little extra money. It's funny to like watch him unfold with this. And then he goes, so that means everybody is our dream customer. And I was like, no, that's the opposite of marketing. If you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody, right? I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, no, right? And it's as comical as that might be. It's like 99% of the time I work with a network marketer, they have that same mentality about the product they're trying to go sell. It's like, well, I got a pill, powder, or potion, and everyone needs a little more pill, powder, and potion, so everybody should hear my network marketing pitch, right? Or everybody needs this opportunity for more money in their life and create multiple passive streams of income. And all those little dumb phrases everyone says, right? You know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, that's also the criteria that I was taught to make a list of friends and family. I wasn't asked, hey, who do you want purchasing this? I was asked, do you know anyone with willingness and a wallet and a heartbeat? And that was the only criteria for going and pitching. And so as I'm looking through my list of contacts of friends and family through my phone and my Facebook friends group, I'm looking through it, and I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, man, well, they have willingness in a wallet, or I think, at least they have a wallet. We'll see if they have willingness. Therefore, that's a lead. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's the worst criteria for a lead, right? The willingness and wallet criteria is the worst person to sell to, right? Just because someone has willingness and a wallet. Worst person to sell to. Worst person to sell to. Worst person to sell to. Right? Not only is that person harder to sell because they ask stupid questions like, is this a pyramid scheme? Right? You know what I'm talking about. Let's be real. Let's have some real talk in here, right? Not only is that person the hardest person to convert, they're also the hardest person to get to do anything post-purchase. Right? What ended up happening was I didn't want to quit. I recruited maybe a couple people from the friends and family list, And I was like, well, I'm not just going to sit on my hands and wait for luck. What can I do? And so I literally walked down Main Street, like I said, and I started recruiting other people, looking for those people. The only two criteria was willingness in a wallet, willingness in a wallet, willingness in a wallet. That's it. Sucky. That's terrible. Right? Instead, right? Oh, what I was going to say is, not only are those the worst people to sell, they are the worst people post-purchase to get to do anything. I remember specifically, so I did end up recruiting 13 people in my first 5 weeks. I was very proud of that. I got my little award thing. People were like, how are you doing it? This is amazing. And in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh. I literally remember this, doing on an actual napkin, if my 13 people recruit 13 people each, the next question I have to answer is, what island will I buy? Right? I mean, I was like so pie in the sky over this crap. The reality is that nobody did anything. There's a really powerful principle that is true, and I want you to write this down. This is another one of those things to staple to your face, which is that the manner in which I sell someone into the product sets a precedent for my relationship with them post-purchase. So if I have to beg somebody into the sale, guess what I'm going to have to do during fulfillment? I'm going to have to beg them to do anything post-purchase, right? I'll be there for you more than anybody else. I'm literally going to be on tap and at your beckoning call. Well, guess what's going to happen post-purchase? I'm going to have to be on tap for them. And right, does that make sense? It's broken. The way and the manner that I bring people into the business sets a precedent for how they will behave post-purchase. Doesn't matter if it's joining my downline, doesn't matter if it's buying the product. Fish are not created equally, and neither are customers. Okay? They're not. So the biggest thing that sets a huge amount of precedent to the joy that you'll be likely to experience in this game comes all the way down to this really, really key truth and reality that customers are not created equally. Okay? A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. Right? But dollars and revenue are not produced the same. I was trying to get this across at one of, I was doing a big event on my stage, and someone was really struggling with it. And I was trying to help people understand that it feels backwards to our inner entrepreneur to think like this. But it's the first step of thinking correctly like a marketer. Okay? Who is our dream customer? Okay? And it's actually not enough to stop there. We actually have to take a step back and ask the second part of the question. So I want you to think about this. If we are saying that there is such thing as a dream customer, then by definition, there is such thing as a nightmare hell customer. Let's be honest about it. Right? Now, because stereotypical network marketers do not create any filters on their dream customer, their downlines are filled with nightmares. Right? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm right, because a lot of people hire me to come in and consult with their crap, and the first thing I do is I say, who's your dream customer? And they're like, well, everybody drinks water, or the equivalent, right? Everyone needs a little extra money. Everybody is our dream customer. And I'm like, that's why you hate your business, and that's why you're having such a hard time recruiting, and that's why it's impossible for you to create actual marketing material. Right? It's like going out and saying, does anyone out there have a heartbeat? Oh my gosh, you do? Well, you bet. My guess is that you want this and you don't even know you want it. And I was told that all I got to do is I got to get my product in front of people, and the product's so good it sells itself. It's garbage. It's a lie. It's the opposite of marketing. It's a trap, and it will build a foundation for a business that you wake up one day and hate. Hey, I have coached tens of thousands of people. This is the pattern. Okay, regardless of sales funnel strategy, regardless of the offer that you build or the traffic method that you go get, all of that is secondary to deciding who your dream customer is and is not, and having both defined on a list side by side. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit down with a piece of paper and draw a line straight down the center of it. On the left side of the paper, write dream customer criteria. On the right side of the paper, I want you to write nightmare customer criteria. The confusing thing here, my friend, is that both are still a customer. Both still pay you. But one will bring joy, one will share without you having to bring a cattle prod to their back, right? One will talk about, one will find leads, one will be waking up hungry every single day to go out and grow and build what you guys are building. And the other won't do a dang thing. And you'll start to build a hollow downline, right? I was not strict enough on this principle when I first started recruiting like crazy. In fact, that's one of the major reasons why I shut down my downline with 1,400 people in it. So I was like, I'm not saying we weren't making any money. I was making money, but it was terrible. It was a babysitting job. I was like, this is not sustainable. So that's why I stopped. And I said, let me start from scratch. And I'm gonna get clearer on my dream customer and nightmare customer. And we're gonna start back at square one with this thing, and you're gonna watch me create that. So that's exactly what I did, and it's one of the major reasons again why I chose to do that. So that's the number one thing to figure out of the gate. Thing number one: who's your dream customer? Second part of the same question is, who's your nightmare customer? Now, the second, the thing that people always mess up with this, not always, but a lot of times, there was this awesome lady I was writing copy for her funnel, about a year ago, and I was writing some copy that I usually charge about, anywhere from 15 to 25 grand for. I'm a pretty good copywriter, and I was on the call with this lady doing this thing, and it takes me a couple hours to interview them, and then I go back and do a bunch of stuff, and it's super fun. I was on a Zoom call with her though, and I said, hey, as we start this process out, we always have to start in the same spot, which is me asking you who your dream customer is. Who's your dream customer? And she blessed this lady's heart. All right, I'm not making fun of her, but I'm just trying to illustrate a principle using this story. I said, who's your dream customer? And she goes, well, right now, the person that we have purchasing from us is, it's this person and this person and this person. And she kept going on for a while. And I remember thinking, she just said 3 different people. Huh. And I just put a little pin in it, and I was like, maybe I'll weed it out a little bit here in a bit. 30 minutes into the call, I asked her the same question again. And I said, hey, who's your dream customer? She goes, well, like I was saying, hey, we have, right now this person's buying from us, and this person is buying from us, and this person is buying from us. I said, okay. And this time I told her, I said, you recognize that you've actually given me 3 different people. It's impossible to make marketing for more than one dream avatar and customer. So, which of those 3 is your dream customer? And she didn't really answer. She got a little frustrated, and I was like, all right, put a little pin in it again. Let me come back to it later. 45 minutes into the call now. 45 minutes in the call. She turns, I decided I got to get clarity on this customer. Otherwise, I can't start writing marketing. And so I asked her again, and I was like, hey, and I just prefaced it very, very nice. I said, hey, check it out. I actually cannot do any kind of marketing with you here. I can't do my job. I have to get, who's your dream customer? And she got frustrated. And bless her heart, she just didn't understand what I was getting at. And so I'm better at explaining it now. But she yelled. And she goes, Steve, that's why I'm on the call with you. I've told you. She goes, I want you to tell me who my dream customer is. And I was like, listen to what you're saying. I was like, who is your dream customer? Your dream. I can't tell you what your dream is. Only you can tell you what your dream is. And she was quiet. And I said, it's something I really want to like really emphasize here with everybody on this podcast, which is that I'm asking you to define your dream customer. Nobody can tell you that for you. I can give you criteria to think through as you go do it, but literally nobody can choose your dream customer for you. This is a big deal, and most of the time it's impossible. I'm not kidding, guys. Like, when I go review a funnel or I start looking at someone's offer, there's tweaks to make, there's stuff to change, yeah, whatever. But man, 9 times out of 10, they are literally accepting the any customer, not the dream customer. They're accepting this is the person who is currently purchasing from me customer, not the dream customer. I didn't ask for you to tell me who is already buying from you. That's not why I ask it the way I ask it. I say, who is your dream customer? The customer that you wake up every day psyched to work with. Your dream. Not your existing customer. Not the could-be customer. Not the willingness in a wallet customer. The opposite of a dream customer, sometimes I'll call it the any customer. Right? And again, confusing because they pay you. But it's I'll just take anybody. That's not what I'm asking. Okay, now again, I'm going to talk to the inner entrepreneur and inner business owner inside of each one of us. It's going to sound very opposite. It's going to feel like I'm telling you to not sell potential people. Okay, but if your network marketing business that you're in is big, and the potential market size that could be purchasing the product is big, then you got nothing to worry about. Get clear on who you want in your downline. Get clear on who you want to be working with and serving. I mean you personally. So some of the things that I do when I'm going through and when working with somebody and I'm trying to help them understand this principle is I'll start asking them things like, could you tell me what your dream customer is secretly resenting? Write that down and answer it. For both the dream customer and the nightmare customer. Could you tell me really quick what or who your dream customer is secretly embarrassed about? Could you tell me what products you want your dream customer to already have purchased prior to being a dream customer for you? I love that question. For me, I always go for somebody who's already in network marketing. I don't want to be someone's first purchase in the network marketing space. It means they're going to ask me stupid questions like, is this a pyramid scheme? I don't get that question really from people who are already in network marketing and just looking for a new one. Does that make sense? I'm stacking cards in my favor. I love this example. Education, the existing education level of a recruit is one of the best forms of criteria to define for your dream customer. Case in point, I love this example. I love my parents. My parents are amazing people. But when I first started building sales funnels, 10, 11 years ago, my mom literally thought I was selling kitchen funnels for a while. I don't know how long. When she actually clarified this, I was like, I work for Russell Brunson. I'm the funnel guy's funnel guy. I know. I was like, that was back in 2016 or something like that. And it was funny because she said that. She goes, oh, so you're selling kitchen funnels. Is that working? And I was like, wait, what do you think I do? Mom was like, yeah, you're selling kitchen funnels. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, not even related at all. I suck at cooking. I was like, no, I'm one of the top. I'm actually the guy who popularized the concept of funnels. I'm his funnel guy. And I had to go through and teach her what a sales funnel was. Now, is that okay? Yeah. Now let's relate this to designing a dream customer. That's what's so fun about this game, guys, is you get to design your dream customer. You're not at the mercies of the leads that you just happen to find. Oh, I found someone with willingness. I better take him because I don't know when I'm going to get the next lead. Well, that just means you're not a marketer. What marketers do is they define the dream customer. And one of the best ways to define a dream customer is for you to figure out what vocab you don't want to deal with. I love Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki is one of my favorite people on the planet. I so bad want to interview him one day, and I think that I could do it. Actually had a shot at getting on his Rich Dad podcast a little bit ago. I might go try to cash that chip again. I love Kiyosaki. One of the things that he says about learning stuff is he says that vocabulary is really the first thing you should go learn when learning a new skill set. Vocab, nothing else. And his justification for it was really insightful. And I was like, wow, I'd never thought of it like this. He said, when you learn the vocab that's associated with a skill, you know like 80% of the skill. Because you know the vocab. It was something like that. I don't remember the exact quote. And I was like, huh, that's a really powerful insight. And he's completely right. So with like someone like my mom, let's say someone comes in, they go, wait, what's a sales funnel? Now, I already have defined ahead of time, or maybe I needed to decide in that moment, if educating somebody on what a sales funnel is reminiscent of my dream customer. If it's not, then I got to be good at being like, hey, you know what? You probably should go buy from someone else. Because that's not really who we're fit for. We're more for somebody who knows what funnels are already. Anyway, does that make sense? There was like I don't know, like 18 months ago, there's two people that I pitched back to back on a big product that I have. I have a 6-figure product. I also have a $250,000 offer. And there was a guy that I wanted to go clean up some of my processes. And so I found the dude, and I was trying to find somebody that I could go do it for like wicked cheap for, so I could just see where our processes might need a little bit of upgrading. And so I had 2 different pitches back to back for a 6-figure thing, like in the same week. And I don't know how they got on the phone with me, but they did not know what a sales funnel was. And so I very politely told them, I said, hey, just so you know, like, I'm not actually that guy that's meant for someone who's never heard of a sales funnel. Because what I asked them is, I said, hey, could you drop a link to maybe one of your funnels? And he goes, I keep hearing, what he said was, I keep hearing about this thing called sales funnels. Like last week, I heard about it. I was like, this is so fascinating. And in my mind, I was like, oh crap, that's not enough time in the vocab chair for me. That's not my dream customer. And so I unsold him. And this happened twice in a week over the same offer. And first of all, that means that my filters are not strong enough for getting on the phone with me, but that's a different conversation. But what I told each of them separately is I said, hey, just, I'm probably not a fit for you. I'm meant for someone who kind of already knows what this is. Why don't you go check out this other guy? He's probably a little bit better for maybe the fit you're in. I'm more about helping people do things with funnels. Not that I couldn't help you, but it just typically that's kind of how it works. Now, one guy was super offended. And he goes, are you serious? You don't really want to work on that? That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Like, I'm trying to give you money here. And I was like, yeah, but, I'm a marketer and a sales guy and a sales funnel builder and a business owner. And, like, I'll tell you why this is important in a second. Okay. The second guy was a little bit frustrated with me, but I told both of them what to go do to learn about funnels. Both of them, I said, hey, you should probably go read these 2 or 3 books here. And then, if it is a fit, then we could totally talk about doing this together. One guy was pissed, walked away. I never heard from him again. The second guy responded 2 weeks later, having read the books. And he was like, I get it. Holy smokes. Can we do that in my thing? I was like, yeah, let's go. You see how he educated himself into what I say is the criteria for my dream customer. And it was great. And ended up selling a big package with him, and it was awesome. Does that make sense? You get to choose this. Now, why is this important? I've done so many events. I did so many events last year. Just at my event studio in Boise. And why does this matter? I was explaining this to the audience a moment ago. feels like a moment ago. It was like 6 months ago. And I was like, why does this matter? And what I helped everybody understand, I said, think about this. Let's say that you have no filter on who your dream customer is. And you literally you don't have anything except willingness and a wallet, right? Someone with money. That's how I define a dream customer. Well, all businesses have the same basic 4 core functions. And I'm not saying there aren't others, but in terms of sales and marketing, it's the same basic 4 functions. All right, write these down. Function number 1, can you get leads consistently? If that's like a core business function, does not matter what business you're in, right? Now, traditional network marketing solves that by making you go through your friends and family list, but there's a million other ways to get leads. And that's exactly what Secret MLM Hacks goes through and what Modern Downline goes through and why I freaking do what I do, right? It's insane that no one else teaches this stuff. Not really in the network marketing space. Even though they call it network marketing. Okay. So the first function is leads. The second function is sales. All right. You got to be able to sell some of the leads. The third function is delivery. Can you deliver what you sold? And then the fourth function is reselling or upselling. And if you're going to get super technical, I would add in like finance and, and HR and stuff like that when you're building like a real big business. But even if you're not, so leads, sales, delivery, resale, upsell, 4 different functions. Now, let's say that you have no criteria for your dream customer. Just none. You have no criteria at all. And so every single way, and you also have no documented way to get leads, right? They kind of just fall in your lap at random. You know what I'm talking about? And you know who you are if that's kind of who you are. You don't really know how you get leads. It's just kind of a flurry of activity. How's that going? Right? It's exhausting. Now, let's say that you get someone who actually is interested and they want to be pitched, which happens. But you don't really have a documented sales pitch. And let's say that you don't really have, none of your sales stories are figured out. And actually, it doesn't matter if someone DMs you personally or literally shows up at your front door, you'll pitch them. So you have, let's just say you have no documented way to pitch and sell. All right. But you get people who still buy from you. And that happens, right? Let's go to the third function, delivery. Let's say you don't have any kind of onboarding or delivery defined. And so every single person who buys from you is delivered a little bit differently. Every single person who comes and either joins your downline or buys the product that your network marketing is peddling around, it's always different, right? It's whatever upline member happens to be available in the moment. Nothing's documented. All right. But you still get to sell them. You still get to deliver. And then when it comes to resell / upsell the person, and whether it's a network marketing product or whatever, nothing there is documented, and it's all happenstance. Like it's accidental. I call that accidental marketing and pitching. Guys, that's not a business. You're a handyman. Someone asked me at this last Funnel Hacking Live, I was doing a roundtable, and I was sitting around the roundtable, and someone asked me, like, what's the first step to scale? I was like, that's an important question to ask. The first thing is to recognize that you do not scale. You don't scale. You can't scale you. And a business that doesn't have any documented lead, sales, delivery, or resale, upsell systems is literally trying to scale an individual. You don't scale. And I was trying to help him understand this. And I was like, look, the issue is, the real challenge here is that with network marketing, people are too obsessed with duplication. Does it duplicate? But does it duplicate? But does it duplicate? It's a fetish. Get over it. It's the wrong question. You want to know why? Because you don't duplicate. You cannot duplicate a person. And if every person who buys from you or joins your downline or whatever, you got the lead differently, you sold them differently, you delivered differently, you resold and upsold them differently. If it's always different, you don't have a business. You have all these different conveyor belts. It's like you got a slightly different version of a business assembly line, now a slightly different version for a different business assembly line for that customer, and a slightly different, right? Does that make sense? You created all these different instances of trying to make the exact same business. That's why it doesn't go anywhere. And that's 100% why the old model isn't duplicatable. Stop trying to duplicate a person. You can't. You duplicate systems. You duplicate processes, not people. People are not processes. Until your downline has a documented process on how it gets leads, this is how we get leads. Not that it can't change, but documented. 80% of the time, it's this. And 80% of the time, this is how we sell. And 80% of the time, this is how we deliver. And 80% of the time, this is how we resell and upsell. If you don't have that written, it lives in your head and you're the business. You don't have a business, you're the system. You don't own the systems. The system literally owns you. You can't go take a break. You got to be on call 24/7 for the next person in your downline that wants to three-way you in, because that's the system that you designed. But guess what's the good news? It's all redesignable. This is all designable. It's all designable. So I ask again, the first step on how to actually go be successful with network marketing is to get clear on who your dream customer is, on who your nightmare customer is. Then build the lead, sales, delivery, resell, upsell systems based on the dream only. And what you're going to start finding is what I found with that other gentleman, is that if someone is not exactly a dream customer, and I just explain that to them very kindly, I don't say that word. You're not my dream customer. I don't say it like that. Guess what? A huge percentage of them actually go work to become your dream customer. And since the way we sell somebody sets a precedent for how they'll behave in fulfillment, this is how you build a duplicatable process. Can't duplicate something that's not defined. Okay, this is one of my favorite things to go through with people. It's one of my favorite things to go through because most 90% of the time, a person has never heard of what I'm talking about. I had to discover this and come up with it. All right. But the good news is that it's actually not that complicated of a thing to do once you start thinking like a business owner and not like a network marketer. A business owner thinks in systems and processes. A network marketer is like, where do I get my next lead? Which is a good question to ask, right? That's a marketing question. Where do I get my next leads? Right? That's what they ask every day. Salesperson is like, how can I pitch another person right now? That's what a salesperson asks. Delivery is like, how can I onboard this person for the best possible experience so that they go around and talk about it without me putting a cattle prod on their back? That's a good question to ask, right? But recognize these are different mentalities asking these questions. There's different roles associated with these questions, and it's why most people will never duplicate. It's impossible. They will never duplicate because they're trying to duplicate them. Think about how much of a gamble that is. It turns network marketing into this game where you're like, person I just recruited, have you memorized my sales script exactly? You're trying to create a mini you. Don't do that. This is what Secret MLM hacks and modern downline go through, by the way. Anyway, so I've been on a high horse and it's 160 degrees in the sauna right now. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating so bad. And I just want to reiterate with this that if I was going to start over from scratch, which I am, guess what I'm doing now is I am taking the time, and it's usually not an instant. And the dream customer conversation is one that tends to mold over time. But if it's not written and revisited, then you're at the mercy of whoever just shows willingness in a wallet. And you can't really build a system that scales that way, and it's not duplicatable that way. But if you treat it like an actual business owner, right, who is real about the fact that customers are not created equally, right, then you actually are building a machine that is duplicatable. And it's how I build a downline also that has duplication in it, because I'm not the duplication, right? The system is, all right? Anyway, that's your homework. Hey, if you guys like this podcast, could you guys let me know? Please review, whatever platform you listen. I actually do go back and read your reviews, and it means a lot to me. Secret MLM Hacks, the program, Modern Downline, which is a different program. They're both open. We got a deal going on right now where you can get buy one get one free basically, and it goes through this stuff and teaches you how to think like a business owner in the network marketing space and what systems you need for actual legitimate duplication and lead gen. It's super, super fun. So write down who your dream customer is, write down who your nightmare customers, have both defined, watch them mold over time, and the game is very forgiving. If you got a question you want me to answer on the podcast, I would actually really love to hear what questions you guys got. I'm not saying about the program, it could be whatever, but just in general about network marketing and using funnels on the internet. Go to secretmlmhacksradio.com and there's a little button. You can record a voicemail straight from your computer right to my email. It sends me the file. And if it's a question that fits the entire podcast and listenership, I'll toss it in the show and answer it. It's super fun. So anyway, secretmlmhacksradio.com. Also, you can opt in for something called the MLM Masters Pack there, which is one of the ways that I like to train my downline how to think like an actual marketer and not just a network marketer. It's how I treat the internet. And so it's become one of the ways that people train their downlines to just think different. There's no pitch in it, whatever. It trips out to you 5 lessons, 1 per day. So that's at secretmlmhacksradio.com also. You guys are awesome. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback for me. Do you have a question you want answered live on the show? Go to secretmlmhacksradio.com to submit your question and download your free MLM Masters Pack.